Hi, in this video, I'd like to show you some way to modify a list. So remember, we were able to access or read an element from a list before. So if we want to change that element, and as I've said before, the only way to change something is to use the assignment operator. So we can apply the same idea to change an element in a list. So we start by the list itself, and let's say we want to change the very first element. We put that on the left-hand side of an assignment operator, and we put the new value on the right-hand side of the assignment operator. For this one, I'll just change 88 to 100, and then I'm going to print out the list again. So the first time I print out the list, it was the original one. The second one is when I change first element to 100. So that's what it is. So the first element is changed. Now, because we are able to access an entire slice of multiple elements in addition to just a single element, we can also modify a whole slice. Now, that is a little more complicated. It's also used less frequently than just changing a single element, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it could be useful, and feel free to look it up how to do it yourself. Another very useful operation that we can perform on the list is to add things to the end of the list. And let me show you how to do that. So in order to add something to the list, we start with the list itself, and then we do a dot and then append. So the dot is kind of the object-oriented part of the Python language. We've seen it in various places. This just means we are going to perform the append operation on this particular list of numbers. So, and we can put in what we want to append at the end. So for now, I'm going to say maybe put a number 999 or something. And after I'm done with that, I am going to print out the numbers list the third time. So let's see the third time, the first time, second time, and then after this, after I do the append, the number 999 appears at the end of the list. Now, there are other ways to add things to a list, such as using the dot insert method that actually allows you to insert things in arbitrary places in the list instead of just always at the end like what append does. But append, at least for now, is probably the most useful one. But again, feel free to explore other methods by looking at the Python documentation. Now, we've covered modification of an element, adding things to the list. But what about deleting from the list? Well, there are actually multiple ways of deleting elements from the list, such as just using del, the keyword, or pop, and etc. Now, it can be useful. It might not be the most useful operation right now. So, and because of its complexity, I'm going to say, well, let's not worry about that right now. But if you want to explore on your own, I do have a link here to one of the better articles I read about removing things from a list in Python. So we have seen that we can change a list, we can add things to the list, and it's possible to remove things from a list. So that with that, I would like to introduce the terminology that a Python list is a mutable data structure. It basically means it can be changed, right? Can be modified. And I know we haven't seen anything that is immutable yet, which means it cannot be changed, but we'll get to what's immutable very soon.